Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that we received. But there was a message that I read yesterday on our other channel. There was this other sister who was saying that one day she found out that a maid had made a burger for herself in her kitchen, and this made her to be very angry. And what she did, she punished the maid by taking her, and she went and she locked her up in another empty bedroom throughout the day, throughout the night, and the following day as well. What kind of a punishment is that? And she was like, I asked her, you are a beggar in my house, and here you are busy making yourself a beggar. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world. So there is another confession as well that I'll be sharing with you. The confession reads like this. Hello, how are you? Can you please post my own story as anonymous? So here I am, and I want to confess the things that I did. You know, as a married woman, there are many sacrifices that you have to do to make sure that you can keep your husband. Let us be honest. Out there are a lot of Eve's snakes that are waiting to snatch your husband if you just blink. If you blink, then you lose your husband. And my confession, it goes like this. I buried a dead snake in my husband's yard because I wanted him to forget about his mistress. I really never thought that it was going to reach that point, because me and my husband, we grew up in the same neighborhood. We went to the same church. His parents, they were pastors as well at the same church. So I never thought that my husband will end up doing the things that he did. This made me to feel really desperate. And my heart, when it was broken and shattered, I told myself that I will do anything to fix whatever that was broken. And what I did was that I had to bury this snake in my yard so that he can forget about this woman that he was now dating, that he wanted to bring into the family. Like, gosh, Istanbul, in this day and age, I could not stand for it to be involved in a polygamous relationship. No, I said no. So even though his relatives had agreed, but as for me, I just agreed and said, yeah, it is okay. But in my heart, I did not want that. I knew that I was going to sort out the woman. But there are times now when I feel like I am just regretting, because I keep on seeing this snake, even though I buried that snake as it was dead. But I usually see the snake in my bedroom. And I am praying that it is not what I think it is, a Tokoloshe. I went to the Sangoma and she promised me that no, it is not a Tokoloshe. Maybe it is just a figment of my imagination. My husband and I, we got married almost 12 years ago. We were not perfect as such, but we were happy. At least I thought that I was. Until about a year ago, things started to change. Sometimes he would come home late, started avoiding my calls. He stopped looking at me with love like the way that he used to. Like the love was simply disappearing. I tried to ignore everything. That was when I found the text messages. They were from her, a young woman. This woman was the one whom he was dating, and it broke my heart the day that I found out that he was calling her his queen and they were getting ready to stay together. I cried myself to sleep. I tried everything. Went and I reported the issue to his family, his elder brothers, and then they said that they were going to sit down with him as a family. At the first meeting, I was not there. The second meeting, when they called me, I knew that there was something that was wrong, because my husband was there. They never asked him to apologize, to do anything. The only time that they wanted my input was when they said that, you know, in our family, we do practice Istanbul, and we thought that you understood when you got married to our son. And just remained quiet because I just wanted to respect my husband's relatives, since one of my husband's elder brother really takes care of my family as well. So I remained quiet, trying to be as humble as I could, even though it was really painful. That is when I accepted. We had another meeting when this girl was brought in, and then we had our meeting and we spoke and we spoke. I looked at the girl, and the way that she was beautiful, it really did not sit well with me. It made me to even doubt my own self. It made me think that my husband was going to love her more than he was going to love me. And this made me to hate him. But I was happy. I invited her to my home when we had another meeting. My relatives were there as well. My sisters, they wanted to meet with her. They loved her because she was charming, so they said, but not to me. To me, she was someone who had taken everything away from me, everything that I desired and cherished. Already, I had gone to this other older woman, and this woman told me that she could help me. This was after I had paid her the money, and the ritual, it was going to involve me burying a dead snake, which would have killed. And this was going to make my husband forget about this mistress of his. I wrestled with the decisions for days. Part of me thought that it was ridiculous, but another part of me, I was drowning in pain. I was willing to try anything. I went back to that older lady, and she said she was going to assist me. She got the snake and she placed it inside a plastic bag, and I returned back home. And after that, that was when she said that when I will be busy burying the snake, I had to curse this woman in the spirit. I had to imagine me chasing away from my home, and that was what I did. Late at night, when my husband was fast asleep, I had to steal his jean trousers, his t-shirt, and wore his shoes, for I had to wear as if I was my own husband, whilst I was casting these spells and the curses. I dug and I dug, and as I was burying that snake, I said, I do not want you from my life anymore. I do not want you from my family anymore. I do not love you anymore. And after that, I then spit into that hole, and I finished burying the snake, and I returned back indoors. And then I removed my husband's clothes and hid them, for I had to burn them. According to that Sangoma, said that those clothes that I would have worn whilst doing the rituals, they were also cursed, and my husband was never supposed to wear them again. Otherwise, the charms were not going to work. Within a couple of days, I saw that things were changing. My husband stopped communicating with that woman and sat with me down and said that he had decided that he did not want Istanbul anymore. He wanted me. He only wanted me. And I was happy. After they had broken up, life returned back to normal. But now what I have noticed is that there is a snake. This snake that I told you about, I always see it even in my bedroom. I once screamed out and I said, snake, snake, to my husband. But after I had called out to my husband, what surprised me was that he said, which snake? I was looking at the snake, but my husband did not see the snake. This is my own confession. So I returned back to that Sangoma and told him. The Sangoma has since told me that I have to go to the graveyards, look for a grave which does not have a tombstone, if it means that I have to ask someone who can dig up the grave for me and take the hand or the skull of a person that will be buried. Return back to my home and bury the skull or the human hand at my home so that I can stop seeing this snake. Am I not going to make the situation worse? I am a woman who is a prayerful one. I made a mistake and I went and visited the Sangoma once, but I don't wish to do it anymore. Please speak with me. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our sister. Yes, indeed, you are making the situation to be worse. The first thing that you did, which is wrong, you went and you were given this snake, and you really do not know where this snake came from. Maybe she lied to you that she went and killed a snake in the forest. Maybe it is just something that is going to keep on appearing and making you to have these visions, and with time it might get worse. It will start to ask for sacrifices. So the best thing that you can do, since you are a Christian, you can speak with your pastor, you can speak with the elders at your church or anyone that you trust at church, and tell them that this is what you did, trying to fight for your marriage so that you can get prayed for. Please let us try to assist in the comment section. You should not go to the graves and dig up the bones of the dead, for it is going to be worse.